For I am the source of ecstasy and inspiration in man. Behold in me the silent voice, which man may hear, who hath inner ears to hear. And I am the light which man may see, who hath eyes of the Spirit to see. For I say that in so far as man knows the ecstasy of inspiration in him, he hears my voice and sees my light in him. He then knows the mighty rhythms of my balanced thinking and thinks with me. Come unto me in my high heavens, ye who are burdened of earth, and find rest. For I am rest, and I am love, and all the unchanging qualities which my thinking divides into paired quantities of sex-conditioned extensions of my light, which ever seek the rest in me from which they sprang. And never do they find the rest while unaware of me in them, for they are but moving images of my imagining, which forever move as sexed extensions of the sexless light from which they sprang. For moving things of clay forever move. Know not that rest centers their moving, as rest centers the shaft which forever moves around its very source of rest, from which its motion springs. Knowing not me, their source of rest in them, they cannot be that source around which they must forever move, to seek that which they cannot find until they know me in them. Knowing not me in them, they are alone in all the universe. But knowing self of them as me in them, they then are me. They then with me are all my universe. Verily I say, the power of moving things to move or to find rest is not in them. I alone am energy, and I am also rest. I am the fulcrum which extends the power to move from rest. Thine arm is not empowered to pulse alone, unextended from the rest point in thine heart, nor is one microscopic thing empowered to manifest me apart from me. My rest and peace may be known by moving things which know my balance in them, and keep balance in them while thus moving. Moving things which manifest my knowing, by equal interchanging void their moving, and thus find rest. But those which manifest me unequally cannot wholly void their moving. These shall leave an unvoided residue of motion, as a debt of unbalance which must be paid to me before my rest may be known in them. For I am balance, and all moving things which extend from me must manifest my balance in them. And I am law. No rest can there be, nor can there be peace, while my law remains broken by unbalance, even by one whit. For verily I give rest to moving things by equally dividing light of my knowing at rest in me, to extending and retracting lights of my thinking. Know thou that in my knowing is balanced and at rest in me, so is my thinking balanced and at rest in me. The extending light of my thinking multiplies the oneness of my knowing into many ones to mother them as formed bodies made in patterned images of my knowing. The retracting light gathers all the many ones together into my oneness to father them in soul seed of me, for again borning into patterned forms of many ones. In this wise my formless knowing is imaged in many patterned moving forms, which seek rest from moving in the formlessness of my unity, for reborning as many patterned moving forms. For I am rest. In my rest is my knowing. From my rest extends my balanced electric thinking. In action and reaction of my thinking, I am balanced always, for I am balance, as I am also rest. When man's thinking is balanced in him as it is in me, then shall he know rest in me as I know rest in me. Then shall his thinking be the ecstasy of his knowing, as my thinking is the ecstasy of my knowing. Know thou that mind of me is ecstatic always. I know neither grief nor pain, sorrow nor compassion, anger nor wrath, for these are qualities of unbalance, and unbalance is not in my house. Know thou that those unbalanced qualities are a product of man's unbalanced thinking. They alone are in him. They are not in me. He who knows not me in him first thinks himself as one of many separate and separable forms apart from all things else and me. In those his early days he knows not me in him, not suspecting me in him, even though his slightest move is mine, yea, even though his very breathing is desire in me that he should breathe, to manifest me in him, though unknowingly. Man then knows not himself as one of seeming many forms of my imagining, which spring from rest in me to manifest my knowing. Throughout long eons he walked the path of dark to find the path of light which leads to me. For I say, that refoldment into self of me is not known by man for long aeons, even as self of me is not known by him as self of him for long, long eons. In man's thinking, man begins to live as he leaves the mother womb which bore him, and when he returns the clay of him to clay of earth, he thinks of life as ending, knowing not that its beginning never was, nor could its ending be. For I say that life is alone in light of me, as love and knowing are alone in me. Tell thou to man that he who thinks life lives in him, knowing not my life in him, dies as often as he lives to die again. But he who lives to manifest me, knowing me in him, never dies. He who knows not me in him first thinks himself as one of many separate and separable forms. I will end here.